Hello friends, today we are going to read about an intergenic interaction called complementary genes. We need to understand what intergenic interaction means. Interaction between two genes which are non-allelic. They are not related to each other. They are not the alleles of each other, but they still interact with each other. Again, an exception of law of independent assortment. They respect with the genotype. Here the interaction is where they affect the phenotype. We say that gene which is present on chromosome 1 and there is a gene which is present on chromosome 5, say, of an individual. We have a gene present at a locus here, A. We have a gene present at a locus here, say B. This B gene and A gene together are interacting with each other in such a way that they are producing a different phenotype than their normal expression. We say that complementary genes is an interaction between two genes where both the genes have an individual expression also we can say both the genes have an independent expression such that if I take an example of A gene, I can say that A gene can have 3 possible genotypes. Likewise, B gene can have 3 possible genotypes, showing 2 phenotypes, a dominant and a recessive. We can take it DA and RA. Likewise, we will have a dominant phenotype for B and a recessive phenotype for B. Both have an individual expression, both express themselves independently, but when they are present together in an individual, then they influence each other in such a way that they come together and produce a different phenotype from dominant A, recessive A, dominant B, recessive B. We can explain such type of an effect with respect to certain metabolic reactions in our body. We say we have certain metabolic reactions in our body which are produced in a stepwise process. We have a precursor which is acted upon an enzyme to produce an intermediate product and which is further acted upon an enzyme to produce the final product. Until and unless both the enzymes act upon it, which are produced by the respective gene, I will not receive the final product. That means I need both the enzymes in the active form for the final product to be formed, and hence the individual having these genes A and B should have both the genes in the dominant form to give me the active product. We can say that here the genes A and gene B gave me the active enzyme only when they were present in the dominant form. They did not give me the active enzyme when they were present in the recessive form. So if I want this metabolic reaction to happen, I want both these active enzymes to be present and I want the individual to have a genotype such that it should have both the genes in dominant situation, where we say at least one of the alleles should be dominant. As we can look at the Punnett square showing dihybrid cross and its phenotypic ratio, we say the ratio 9:3:3:1 is produced by certain genotypes, where 9 genotypes are where both the alleles or both the genes have one allele dominant, where one of the gene is completely recessive, the other has one dominant, the other is completely recessive with one dominant, both are recessive. So we must know that these genotypes have how much frequency out of 16 in a dihybrid cross. We have 9 with one gene with each one dominant, one completely recessive, the other dominant, vice versa, and completely recessive. When we look at this situation, when both the genes are required in a dominant situation to produce an effect, we say this particular situation, when I require both the genes in the dominant situation, it is going to occur how many times in this inheritance of two genes? It will occur 9 times that both are dominant and are going to produce the final product. But what if one is completely recessive, either of the two? Then what is going to happen? I will not have either of the enzyme, maybe B or maybe A. In that situation, I will not receive the product because the chain of the reaction is going to be broken down and no effect will be produced. So, how many times do I have these genes in recessive situation? Recessive of either, 3 times for one gene, 3 times for the other gene, and when both are recessive, cumulatively they occur in recessive situation 7 times. And in this recessive situation, either of the enzyme will not be present and my final product will not be formed, producing a different phenotype altogether. Such type of inheritance, my dear, is seen in plants called sweet pea. In their flower color, we say that their final product is the pigment which is responsible for the colored flower. Where I have C gene producing an enzyme, a P gene producing an enzyme responsible for the pigment of the flower color. If either of the gene is not functioning or showing its expression in recessive condition, the pigment is not formed and the flower is colorless or white in color. So I have 2 phenotypes for sweet pea flower color. Either they will have colored flower when the pigment is going to be formed, when I have both the enzymes, at least each having one dominant 9 times. That time I'll have colored flowers. But when either of the enzyme is not functional, the flower will not have the pigment, it will be white in color. Whether P gene or the C gene or both are recessive. Totally in 7 out of 16 I will have no pigment, no flower color, they will be white in color. So we say 9 individuals in sweet pea, I have colored flower out of 16 and 7 individuals have white colored flower. In the population of sweet pea, or we say Lathyrus odoratus, show co-dominance with respect complementary genes, Lathyrus odoratus. Work in conjunction with each other to produce a final product and alter the ideal Mendelian phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross 9331 to 9:7. Because of the complementary nature and alteration in the phenotypic effect of one gene to the other. The alteration occurs from 9:331 to 9:7 in the flower color, where 9 are the colored flowers and 7 are the white colored flowers in Lathyrus odoratus because of interaction between the 2 genes, the C gene and the P gene, producing enzymes for the production of the ultimate pigment providing color to the flower of Lathyrus odoratus. I must tell you once again that in intergenic interaction, the genes are non-allelic. They interact to alter the phenotypic effect, and the phenotypic effect of an ideal dihybrid cross, that is 9331, is altered to some other ratio. In complementary genes, it is altered to 9:7, where either of the 2 genes is not dominant and is recessive, which comes 3, 3 and 1 total 7 times in the population of F2 generation, that is second filial generation of Mendelian experiment. I hope the complementary genes are now clear to you. We will be studying other intergenic interactions very soon. Thank you so much.